keeping the streets safe or a cash grab? That's what we're talking about today, with Ottawa installing tons of new traffic cameras over the past 3 years. They've been bringing in around $1 million per month on traffic tickets, and some of these are false tickets. Let's jump into this.
Some say it's a cash grab. For other drivers, it's actually changed their behavior behind the wheel, and love them or hate them, the number of speed enforcement cameras in the capital set to double. This speed enforcement camera on St. Laurent Boulevard near Queen Elizabeth Public School was the busiest in Ottawa last year.
Well, I think it's ridiculous. People need to slow down.
It issued more than 26,000 tickets to drivers going above the 50-kilometer-an-hour speed limit.
I know people are complaining that it's just a money grab, but if you're not speeding, obviously you don't have to worry about paying it. So slow down, drive more carefully.
So you can see here they handed out 80,000 tickets, almost 81,000 in 2021, 127,000 tickets in 2022, and 220,000. Now this works out to be around $9 million for 2022 and $13 or $14 million for 2023. That's like $1 million per month that they're bringing in on this.
51 in a 40 zone. And surprise, there it was in the mail. I think it's a good thing. It prompts people to slow down.
Last year, 28 cameras were in operation in Ottawa. By the end of 2024, that number will more than double to 60. The cameras are in community safety zones set up near schools.
If it's 40 kilometers or 50 kilometers, I find that sometimes kind of hard to maintain. But otherwise, I mean, if we're speeding.
Now, what we're talking about here today is not so much just giving out tickets for people speeding, because obviously people shouldn't be speeding in a playground or school zone and all that kind of thing. It's the fact that these cameras are giving out false tickets to people turning right on red lights. So we take a look at this map here of Ottawa. Here's all of their traffic cameras. Look at them. They're everywhere. Like, how far does this go? It's crazy. Especially when you get downtown here. They're just on every intersection corner practically. You can click on any of these too, and it shows you exactly what it looks like. So we've got a video here from TikTok of a guy who came up to an intersection, stopped, turned right on a red light, and he still got a ticket. And you're not going to believe what happened when he called in about this false ticket.
So here's a ticket I got in the mail, a traffic camera ticket. Here's the whole thing. It says that I approached the stop line. It had a red signal for 5.8 seconds. All right. And then when the light had been red for 7.6 seconds, I then proceeded through the intersection. Okay. So how long was I stopped at the red light? About 2 seconds, right? So it said, I went to the red light. The light had already been red for 5.8 seconds. I waited 2 seconds and then I went through the intersection. Okay. Sounds like I ran the red light, but hold on. Did I go through the intersection with the red light, or did I turn right on the red light after stopping for 2 seconds to make sure that it was okay? So I didn't do a rolling stop. It specifically said I was there for 1.8 seconds, but I turned right. I didn't go straight through.
So what we've got here is a guy who stopped for 1.8 seconds at a red light, checked it was clear, made a right turn, which he's legally allowed to do. Everything there is legal.
And I gave him my infraction number, and he's like, hold on, I'll look it up. So he looks it up, and I explain. I go, look, it says I went through the red light. You can clearly see that I turned right. I didn't turn right and then come back. I'm like, he's like, yeah, I see that. I'm like, so obviously these traffic cameras have made a mistake and charged me with a $325 fine. He's like, yeah, it looks like this was a mistake. I'm like, all right, so can you cancel it out? No. Okay, well, is there a form I can fill out? No. Okay, do you have a manager I can talk to? No. Okay, so what do I do now? He goes, you have 3 options. Option 1 is you pay it. I'm like, James, have you been involved in this conversation? I'm not paying it. I didn't do it. He's like, yeah, no, I get that. You didn't do it. I'm like, okay, so maybe let's dive into options 2 and 3. He goes, option 2 is you plead not guilty and you go to court. And I go, option 3. He's like, you plead guilty, but you try to get like the fine reduced and da-da-da-da.
This is outrageous. So this guy, his only options are to waste his day going to court to fight a ticket for a broken system in Ottawa's traffic cameras. That's this is just government 101 here, just wasting people's time, energy, and money. He should just call in, they should cancel the ticket and be done with it. But it just happens, it seems to happen in every government, myself included. A year ago, I hit a pothole, a giant pothole that's on the street here because they dug big trench lines across the road to move power lines under the ground to set up some new developments. Or there's an empty lot that they're going to build like 4 houses on. And the city did a terrible job of filling that back in, and it washed out. And it was nighttime. I didn't see the pothole. I hadn't driven that way in a couple weeks, and it just had eroded, and it was like a really deep pothole. And I hit it, I dented my rim, and now my rim in my vehicle doesn't hold air in the tire. So I contacted the city. I'm like, yo, you guys need to pay for this. I said, I've already gone ahead and I bought 2 rusty old rims for my Honda CRV, and I put them on the front axle. Basically, I've got alloy rims, and you can't mix alloy and steel rims. So I bought 2 steel rims, used ones from a junkyard to deal with this. Really, the city should just paid the $400 for the alloy rim and the $100 or whatever to reset the tire and been done with it. They should have given me $500, but instead I spent $126, got 2 rusty old rims, and just got it done. And I asked them to reimburse me. And I'm now over a year and a month now fighting with these guys with the insurance. They will not give me my money back. These scumbags will not give me my money back. And it just seems like this in every single case. In the case of Ottawa here, and this guy in a traffic camera, he's got to spend all day going to court, or he pays $325 for a fraudulent traffic camera. Like, I'm at a point now where I think Canadians are going to just stop paying taxes. They're going to stop paying these fees. They're going to stop paying these fines, because when you got a scumbag like Trudeau and all his den of thieves breaking the law, he's just setting an example. Why would anyone follow the law? And I think Canada is going to slowly start slipping into, it's going to be, turn into a country like Somalia. I mean, we're already got the immigration rate is higher. The amount of population increase is already getting up that point. Our social services and systems are breaking down. Canada's falling into a third world slide here. And it's if it keeps pushing to a point where people just, there's rampant corruption. I'm not paying taxes. I'm not paying for this. I'm not going to pay parking fees. I'm not going to pay any sort of anything because everything's corrupt. That's the road we're sliding down here. So the government needs to be careful what they do here with all these fraudulent tickets, fraudulent crap that's going on in the government, all this corruption. You're setting a bad example here, and you can't have it both ways. You can't have your cake and eat it too. So Ottawa, you need to do better. You need to do better. And Justin Trudeau, you need to get the heck out of our country because we hate you, buddy. That's going to wrap up this episode. Let me know down below if you guys have ever had a bad speeding ticket or one that's not justified or whatever. Personally, I had one in Alberta where I went through and either I slammed on the brakes for a yellow light and have someone smash me from behind, or I just go through the yellow light which turned red, and I got a ticket for that in Alberta. And I'm still pretty pissed off about that. They're all just money grabs that are just, they do anything they can to hurt society. So let me know if you guys have got one of those tickets. Be sure to subscribe here on my second channel where I'm focusing a little bit more on localized news, and then the main channel is for more nationwide coverage of news. So I'll see you guys in the next one.